I just felt at home just because I'm on the path of riding my destiny. And when you're really close to God and on the path of your destiny, you just feel everything so much more, and you just know what's going to happen ahead of time.
Just Q made me feel at home. I'm riding my destiny, and when you're on your destiny and really near to God, you simply feel everything so much more and know what's coming up before it happens. After the post-fight conference, Mike Tyson completely humiliated Jake Paul. And let's face it, despite his vast knowledge and skill as a boxer, it wasn't even close. Because the man who created a multi-million-dollar cannabis empire is so desperate for a salary from a YouTube prankster, Jake Paul chose to keep his mouth shut and say that Mike Tyson needs the money. Jake?
I'd just be real bummed out to see Mike get KO'd at 58 years old.
60, basically.
Like, what other sport would we let a 58-year-old man compete other than golf?
Right.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we letting this happen?
It's kind of crazy.
Seeing Mike get KO at the age of 58 will make me very sad. Beak, what other sport would we allow a 58-year-old man to compete in besides golf? You understand what I mean when I say that this is absurd. And let's not forget the real question, what in the world made a 58-year-old man whose body has more miles on it than a used car decide that a right hook is a viral move? Where do we even start with the masterpiece that was Mike Tyson vs. Jake Paul? This whole TikTok trend is like witnessing a train wreck in slow motion, yet for some reason, nobody can take their eyes off it. Yes, that is completely typical. The worst part is that it did work. We watched it, discussed it, tweeted about it, and even paid for it. Greetings from the circus, everyone.
Tyson is getting back in the ring. He's 58 years old. He's facing off against YouTuber turned boxer, 27-year-old Jake Paul.
Mike Tyson, who is 58 years old, is returning to the ring to fight YouTuber and boxer Jake Paul, who is 27 years old. Despite having major health problems earlier in the year, Tyson agreed to the fight, possibly believing it would be a simple way to make money by taking out a young man who is well known for doing stupid things on YouTube.
We want to, but our opponents don't actually really want to. And so it's funny.
It's hilarious because we want to, but our opponents don't genuinely want to. This is where it gets really good. Jake Paul, who somehow managed to convince a large online audience that he was a legitimate boxer, entered the ring looking like he was trying out for a job in the real Fight Club. As the fight got closer, fans began to ask, is this going to be an actual boxing match, or is it a glorified pay-per-view comedy special with a few extra bruises thrown in for good measure? No one had the courage to ask aloud.
X has spoken. The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X a few days ago.
Well, X has stated that the fight was scripted. Everyone is discussing this on X, and the script was leaked on X a few days ago. And just when you thought the ridiculousness couldn't get any worse, the infamous fight script appears. It was a thorough, step-by-step explanation of how the entire spectacle was meant to play out.
Rings Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, which actually happened. As soon as the bell went, Mike Tyson came out with that head movement, pushing forward. Immediately, he stalks forward with his signature bob and weave style.
Get the bell rings open. As soon as the bell rang, Tyson emerged with that head movement, thrusting forward, and he quickly stalked forward with his trademark bob and wave approach. Tyson is displaying hints of his former form. Tyson, the dependable professional, gets off to a great start with his traditional bob and weave. When you think it can't get any more predictable, round 5 arrives and Tyson is knocked down by a perfectly timed right hook, exactly what the script predicts, but Jake, of course, plays the underdog who somehow manages to keep going, looking like the hero of a sports film.
See how accurate it was. The opening bell rings, Tyson is showing flashes of his old form.
Let's check to see if bell rings was accurate. Tyson is displaying hints of his former self, and the fight surprisingly went precisely as the leaked script predicted. Tyson appeared to be slower than a dial-up connection. It felt like they had unintentionally left a group of professional wrestling writers in charge of a real fight, and somehow that turned out to be the most real thing about it. What did Tyson do? At first, there was no vehement rebuttal, no public outbursts. By the end, fans weren't sure if they had just watched a fight or had paid for a high-budget WWE episode with better lighting and a slightly more plausible backstory. He remained curiously silent, as if he was awaiting the dust to settle or determining who had revealed the secret.
70 million?
I mean, if I were to cash out, yeah, I probably made like an extra like 60 on top of that just from my investments last year, if I were to liquidate it.
Are we discussing 60 to 70 million based on the number on it? If I were to cash out, I would likely have made an additional $60 for my investments from the previous year. Jake Paul, after his altercation, after his contentious victory over Mike Tyson on November 15th, 2024, Paul nonchalantly hopped on his podcast and threw bombshells like they were sponsored advertisements. His antics weren't simply outrageous, they were a masterclass in how to destroy oneself while wielding a megaphone.
I tried to give the fight the best fight I possibly could, but when someone's just surviving
in the ring, basically, it's hard to make it exciting.
It's difficult to make a fight exciting when someone is merely trying to survive in the ring, so I tried to give it the best fight I possibly could. His most outrageous claim was that he eased off during the fight because he didn't want to hurt Tyson. A YouTuber turned boxer who had spent his entire career chasing knockouts suddenly decided to play nice. What's next? He claimed he let Tyson punch him to keep things interesting.
$1 million and $40 million?
I think 20 and 40. Yeah,
20 and
I think that's
40.
what I'd heard. You know, which I'm happy Mike got the money.
I'm glad Mike received the money, but it's incredible that they received so much money for that $25 million, $40 million, I believe 20 and 40 million. The criticism was swift and harsh when Paul went one step further and implied that Tyson needed the fight for money, which is rich coming from a man who made his fortune on viral pranks and boxing gimmicks.
Mike Tyson, who's a multimillionaire, who doesn't need any money right now whatsoever.
Since you've already social media erupted with boxing legends and fans criticizing Paul's egregious disrespect, they weren't just upset about his remarks, they were incensed at how easily he attempted to alter reality. Mike Tyson, a multimillionaire who doesn't need any money at all right now, sparked outrage and stoked conspiracy theories that the fight was staged. His remarks fueled rumors that the match was more about crafting a compelling plot than it was about competition. Many of us who love Mike found it difficult to take the fight seriously because of Paul's constant boasting, even in spite of what he stated in his interview with the girl regarding the legacy. We love him and his legacy. If Jake Paul believed he could continue to talk without repercussions, he was completely mistaken. After being silent for weeks, Mike Tyson eventually lost it, and his retaliation was more powerful than any punch in the ring.
A lot of us that love Mike, and despite what he said in that interview with the girl about the legacy, we love him and his legacy.
Precisely, I became significant. I began by thanking Jake Paul for getting him started, but Tyson wasn't finished. After weeks of hearing false charges and seeing that absurd fight script spread like wildfire, he finally lost it, at least in an interview with Fox Sports Radio.
I started, to matter of fact, I started. Thank you. I started Jake Paul off.
Tyson denied the rigging claims with such vigor that opponents might yet be persuaded to it was a true fight, and Flinch virtually roared, defying anyone to wonder if getting hit 78 times was all part of a grand plan.
Look at my life as a legacy. Legacy to me means ego. Who the cares about my legacy? I'm gonna be dead soon one day.
I do not consider my life to be a legacy. Legacy means ego to me. I'm going to die soon, and Tyson wasn't just upset about the punches, he was furious about what the rumors did to his legacy. For a man who has made a living as one of the most feared fighters in history, being reduced to a character in a boxing drama on television was insulting. And now it came with an asterisk because of Jake Paul's insatiable need for attention and an alleged fight script that read like a rejected Rocky sequel.
This fight is not gonna change my lifestyle financially. I'm a fighter. I feel good. I can do it. I feel I can beat this guy. Come on.
This fight won't alter my financial situation, but I'm a fighter. I feel strong, and I think I can defeat this man. Come on, give me a fiery interview with Fox Sports Radio. It was a real fight, and Tyson wasn't just defending the fight's legitimacy when he went straight for Paul's throat. I don't need anybody's money, Tyson said, revealing the audacity of Paul's financial rescue claim. It was extremely offensive to a man who had spent decades rebuilding his life and career to be reduced to a charity case.
I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm gonna die, and it's gonna be over.
I don't know, but I guess the term legacy is just another synonym for ego. However, Tyson didn't stop at finances, he went existential. I'm going to die soon, and who cares about legacy? He said honestly, shocking even seasoned interviewers. It was a classic statement. Legacy doesn't mean anything. Someone said it, and everyone grabbed onto it. Now, it's used every 5 seconds. It means nothing to me, I'm just passing. Although Tyson was brutally honest and unvarnished, there was genuine hurt underneath his tough guy persona.
It's absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm gonna die, and it's gonna be over. Who cares about legacy after that?
It has no meaning whatsoever for me. After years of personal and professional upheaval, he struggled to regain his legacy, but now it was being attacked by a social media celebrity whose main claim to fame was viral clout. I'm just passing through, I'm going to die, and it's going to be done. Who cares about legacy? Even though Jake Paul has survived 8 rounds against Mike Tyson, can he avoid Tyson's legal team? The actual battle may be taking place in a courtroom right now.
You are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time.
You are giving children my age a historic chance to witness the legendary Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. The fight was billed as being about legacy, or at least that's how Tyson presented it. He revealed that one of the main reasons he accepted the fight was so his kids would see their father as the fighter he once was, but after the fight, the victory felt boxing analysts and public critics didn't hold back either. They questioned whether Tyson should have been permitted to compete at all, given his advanced age, history of health problems, and acknowledged memory lapses. Several blood transfusions earlier in the year only heightened worries. Was Tyson putting everything on the line in a fight he couldn't afford to lose? Or was this really about establishing himself? I couldn't really get him to talk to me, give me a sneak peek, or do something really great, but I don't give a damn about what people think. They'll always have something to say, and that's just the way it is.
I couldn't really get him to engage me or slip shots and, do something super cool or whatever, but I don't care about what people have to say. They're always going to have something to say, and that it is what it is.
Now, when Jake Paul began babbling about relaxing throughout the battle and making charges of cheating, he most likely didn't consider the fine print of a potential NDA if one exists. Jake might have just gotten himself into serious legal trouble. Insiders are investigating if Paul's careless remarks regarding the fight being prearranged violated a legal boundary, according to rumors that Tyson's legal team is not taking this lightly. This is about preserving a brand that Tyson spent decades cultivating, not just about sour feelings. From the ruins of financial devastation and scandal, when millions of people watched the fight live and the stakes were high, Paul's casual comments could have been taken seriously. Sky high, a significant lawsuit may be a blow to Jake's career. Although boxing is a cruel sport, if Tyson's side files a complaint, the hits in court last longer. Paul might be subject to severe fines, a tarnished image, and possible exclusion from further bouts. Don't worry about rematches. Instead of using rings, Jake may be facing Tyson's attorneys in deposition settings. It was an incredible exhibition between a 58-year-old legend and a 27-year-old relatively young boxer, Tyson, but Mike wasn't trying, and the fight wasn't good enough. The bout lasted 8 rounds. The Paul showdown pitted legacy against virality in addition to age against youth.
Went to 8 rounds. Mike wasn't trying. The fight wasn't, good enough. It was an unbelievable display between a 58-year-old legend and a 27-year-old relatively young